The Eliminator round of the Season 12 chase for the NASCAR Pole 1 Cup Series Championship began here at Talladega Superspeedway for the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast 300. Johnny Garner started on the pole and he was off right off the bat, even though this is Talladega Superspeedway where anything, and I mean anything, could happen. But don't worry, we got a couple more races later in this race. But anyway, this is the first race of the Eliminator round where 8 drivers compete for the final 4 spots, and the highest finishing drivers of the final 4 will get into the championship race, will compete for the championship. You're going to see those names on the top right of your screen, and keep a close eye on them to see where they're going to finish here in the next 3 races. As you saw earlier, we had a lot of wrecking happening on the very first lap of the race. Caution came out, and Isaiah Bernesh, she got the good run on the bottom, was able to catch up to Garner after his rockin' start. Pichu and Johnny Garner try to battle him to the caution flag, but Isaiah Bernesh, by just a splitter, was able to get the lead under the caution. Our first caution of the race on the very first lap of the race. Don't worry, we still have a lot more racing to go. As you see, here's our first caution as Ian Dutta, one of the chasers in the field, gets involved in a big spin. One of the first big one, so to speak. As you see a lot of cars spinning out, and you see a lot of smoke as well. There you see the 17 Kyle Collins also into his own mess as well. Whoa, big wreck there. And a lot of chasers, including Preston Plord, Nicholas Guerrero, I think, they are in it. Wow, well, a couple chasers and former chasers are actually in this wreck, but in the end, a lot of drivers, all the drivers were able to go through safely, but some were retired on that very first lap of the race. On the restart, as you see Isaiah Bernesh take the lead, Pichu try to get a good run on the high side. That high side almost always never works at any track like this. Only very few tracks, in fact, have the high side work to their advantage. And yeah, drivers don't obviously take it because they always go with the low side. That's how the AI works. Pichu tried his hardest to get the lead away from Bernesh on the high side, but he cannot do it, as of course it's the high side. Well, the preferred line, he's actually on the preferred line, but then it goes down below when it hits the bottom. Pichu just has no match for the 28 of Isaiah Bernesh, and Bernesh goes off as Johnny Garner tries to draft him in the front. Bernesh in the front to have him get a one-on-one battle with his own. And you see Jasmine Acosta, the highest chaser in the field, running in the top 10, and Austin Talley has just made his way up to the top 10 as well. And speaking of which, he is going for the lead. What a move he made. He made a couple moves, a couple laps, and now he's competing for the lead against the 28 of Bernesh. And Leia Walker is also competing as well. And look at that. You see Navarro almost got a little movie there or something. Anyway, no, he just moved around. But anyway, Talley took the lead. Leia Walker, well, now Cody Hagan, though. Cody Hagan's going to make his move before Leia could do her own move. But here's Roman Rahal, who's moved all the way into the top 5 after starting from the back of the pack. Now is into the top 5. He might be even competing for the win. As you see a 3-wide battle at Talladega. That's what's obviously DEGA is known for. A lot of wild racing happens at Talladega. It's one of the few tracks that has been in the schedule every season to PCS, and this is probably why. Roman Rahal made a comeback, a hard charge to the front the next lap, and he would take the lead on his own. He is looking to get into the Final 4 for the 2nd straight season. But we have ourselves our second big caution of the day, as Zachary Chambers has spun out a big one endured. Leia Walker, who was competing for the lead at one point, she was in it too. Jordan Davis and the leader, Isaiah Bernesh, who had led the first couple laps today, was in it. And Nicholas Guerrero, another chaser, got hit by Jordan Davis trying to escape. And unfortunately for Guerrero, it's not going to help him out at all. He was not able to drive away from the incident. And Preston Plord, though, was able to, but with a lot of heavy damage. But anyway, on the restart with just 6 laps to go, Mason Wood would try to take the lead, and so would Chris Washer, though. But Washer has other plans as well, as he goes for the bottom, drafting help from the 9 Michael Walton. Walton is another chaser also trying to advance to the Final Four with a win. Any chaser could advance to the Final Four. Any of the 8 could get a win and make it to the Final Four and compete for the championship at Zanjoltis. And Michael Walton, though, wants to do that. As you see, 4 and 44 battling for the lead. And look at this, 2 chasers helping each other draft. Michael Walton and Jasmine Acosta both help each other draft, trying to get to the front, trying to stay away from the non-chasers and trying to battle them on their own. But Chris Washer's going to put a block on Michael Walton. Walton not able to make his move, and Washer was able to speed up for a couple laps and lead the final few laps of the race. It looked like he was going to pull away with the win here, but then the next lap, RJ Bishop in the number 8 would go for the lead as he takes it away from Chris Washer, getting drafting help from the 10 of George Warwick. As you see, the race has gone too wide, a lot of cars getting separated because of the wrecks. Anyway, it was a wild race, and George Warwick was trying to compete for second over Chris Washer, and RJ Bishop would take the lead heading to the white flag. But look at Austin Talley. He's waiting for the right time, and he makes it on the final lap of the first corner, but still a long way to go for Talley in the number 40. The 99 of Pichu, he's closing in. He wants to make his move right now. He's got to. This is the final lap, and it will end under the green flag, which is surprising considering this is Talladega. We've seen 2 big wrecks today. Surprised we've only had 2 cautions today at DEGA. But anyway, final corner. Does Pichu have enough distance? Can he make his own run for it? He will. He'll try to make a run with Talley, getting help from Dion Scott. Here they come, coming off the final corner. It's either going to be Talley or Pichu to the line. It is Pichu getting the win at Talladega, the Jimmy John's Freaky Fast 300. And wow, that was really a close finish between Pichu and Austin Talley. Let's see how close that finish was. Here it is. Wow. That was mighty, mighty close. But Pichu on a last turn, last lap pass was able to get the win away from Austin Talley at Talladega. This is probably the best views I could give you, but you could see it was pretty close. And how close, you might be asking? Well, the margin of victory was 2 1/1000ths of a second. The closest Pole 1 Cup race, a regular season race we've ever had. Well, if you thought that was good, wait till you see Indy as we're heading down to the Brickyard 400 coming up next. Well, here we are at the Brickyard. The Mountain Dew Brickyard 400 makes its return to Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the second round of the Eliminator round. Nathan Hudson started on the pole, and last year's champion Jordan Davis started on the outside. But Webster Zangardi, the first lap of the race, he tries to get a run on the bottom in the middle corner over the 43 of Hudson. As you see, Jasmine Acosta, got a good qualifying position, and she's hoping to take a win here at the Brickyard. Hudson hits the wall, and that allows Webster Zangardi to clear the 43 and lead us to our first caution of the race. Again, we had another caution. Once again, we have had a caution on the very first lap of the race, just like in Talladega. Let's show you those wrecks anyway. We had a couple in the first lap. As you see, Mason Wood gets spins out DJ Curtis in the 14, and Curtis went up on the track and wrecked out a couple drivers, including Leah Walker, RJ Bishop, and there you see Luke Walker getting into his own mess with Dylan Young, Austin LaPlante, and another chaser, Nicholas Guerrera. Boy, yeah, he has been struggling. Well, he had a good finish earlier at Talladega, but now this is just not been his luck today here at Indy. But anyway, we had a restart. Zangardi took the lead, but Nathan Hudson took it right back right after on that same corner that Zangardi took the lead from Hudson away. But Webster Zangardi would make a hard charge to the caution, and he would hang on to the lead under the second caution of the day. What a run for him on the Zangardi. He saved it. We had a major wreck here. Michael Walton, a hard hit on the pit wall. And then he flies up out over the pit wall and into pit road. Wow, that could be the wreck of the, that could be the flip, the wreck of the season, whatever you can call it, but that is worth another look. Michael Walton, one of the chasers this season, a really, really hard hit on the number 9 machine. He's alright though, but this one was really scary. He hit the pit window, and then look at this, he went over it after that. Somebody hit him and he went over pit window. He had to be carted off the field. But anyway, here's an onboard look of him to show how scary it must have been for Michael Walton. Whoa, I think that hit his driver's side, I think. And then he goes over the pit wall, goes over, under, and then lands on pit road. Again, he's alright. That wasn't the only caution that happened on that lap, though, as you see Kyle Collins in the 17. A hard hit on the wall with Cody Hagan, and one other driver wasn't able to see in time. Oh yeah, the 77 Kyle Singer was in it, and RJ Bishop was in it as well. So we had 2 wrecks in that second caution period alone. Anyway, we had pit stops, and the field got shuffled after their first set of pit stops as Matt McIntyre took the lead. But there you see the 24 of Benjamin Miles going side by side with him down turns 1 and 2. And Miles would clear him in turn 2, and Miles would get the lead away from the 25. So 24 over 25. There you see the 25 McIntyre though on the next lap, trying to take the lead back again from Benjamin Miles. Neither of these drivers are in the chase. These drivers still looking for their first ever Pole 1 Cup win, so they're battling hard as they can. They only got 3 races to do it after all. Webster Zangardi, he already has a win from last season's Joseph, but he wants to go for another one this season. As you see Webster as he goes back to the lead with the help of the one of Jordan Davis. He goes back to the lead here at the Brickyard, but Jordan Davis moving up to second over Matt McIntyre. We had our third caution of the day later on as we see Sean Harple, another one of the chasers here, and the 96 Angel Navarro in the same wreck, in the same place that Michael Walton had his spin, but a little less vicious than it was before. And Aaron Frank, he had some problems after as well. He had spun by the 40 of Austin Talley, was able to get up a little bit slowly. And then we had yet another one coming down the line. Preston Plord, another chaser, got spun by the 21 of Austin Mungold, and he hit Jasmine Acosta, DJ Curtis, and Nick Altendorf. Acosta, another one of the chasers. So this has been a disaster race for the chasers. It's been a real disaster as they were involved in many wrecks today at the Bricks. Lap cars, Navarro and the 15 Nick Altendorf started on the front of Jordan Davis, who was the leader, and yep, that was not a good idea. We had our big crash right on the first corner of the race. There you see Davis trying to hold to the lead, but he hits the wall, and that allows the 19 Alex Hawkins to clear the one of Jordan Davis. Or does he? Davis still has the line on the high side by side, bumper to bumper. Davis is going to hold off to the caution by inches. Man, that high side has been a real saver down turn 4 for many of the leaders hitting the wall coming out of turn 3 and 4. But here's the wreck on the first corner. Nathan Hudson's in it, and a lot of other drivers in it. Hopefully not a chaser isn't in it. Well, there's Joshua Balkin involved with Pichu, our winner from Talladega. And there's Austin Talley, Kyle Collins in it. Oh no, Daniel Voiles, another chaser, got into another wreck after that. And 2 former chasers, Mark Riggleman and Austin LaPlante, got into their own troubles as well. But Daniel Voiles, tough break for him. And we had another one down the front as well as a lot of drivers, including Connor Breton. Breton, another chaser, involved as well. And Roman Rahal gets stuck. So does Sean Harple and Ian Dada. Man, this has been a bad race for the chasers. Well, we had a restart with just 2 laps to go, but then the caution came out, and the race will end under caution on the final lap. As you see, the 19 Alex Hawkins trying to make a run on the one of Jordan Davis, but Jordan Davis using his expertise to block the 19 and take the white flag and caution flag at the Brickyard down to the line. And Jordan Davis, you could see why he was last season's champion. And here's the final incident of the race. Jack Blake in the 18. Ooh, went into Benjamin Miles as he got contact with Mason Wood earlier on. And then we see another view. Another wreck happened behind them. Austin Mongold and Trevor Gelfie in it. And oh, Daniel Voiles again. Tough break for the 36. He was running well before the two incidents. The last two incidents he had to get involved in. It was a tough day for the 36 overall. And a tough day for the chasers in general. Because here you see Nathan Hudson involved as well, and just about every chaser got a piece of the wrecks in this race. But coming off the final turn, under caution, Jordan Davis becomes your second three-time winner of Season 12 by winning the Mountain Dew Brickyard 400 in Indianapolis Motor Speedway. If he was still a chaser, he'd be competing to defend his crown, but well, he'll have to settle for his third win of the year. And now it's time for the final race before the championship, the Super Snack 500 in New Jersey. Here we are, folks, the final race before the championship race at Zen Joltis, and the final race of the Eliminator 8 round. As here we are at the Super Snack 500 in New Jersey. Last season was at New Jersey Motor Speedway under the lights. That was a disastrous race, so this season it's back to the old Nabisco Super Speedway track, the one that it's well known for. Anyway, first lap already, a battle for the lead between chaser and pole setter from the Super Snack 500, Michael Woolton, DJ Curtis, and another Elite 8 driver, Nicholas Guerrero, battling 3 wide for the lead. The first lap, though, went to the 9 of Woolton, but Guerrero and Curtis never give up, and look at this, Curtis gets the run. He was an Elite 8 driver last season, and well, not this season has not been great for him at all, but Guerrero, for him, it's been a phenomenal season. He's hoping to keep it up and hopes to get in the Final Four and hopes to make it into the championship, just like 7 other drivers that are behind him. And Austin LaPlante, though, Cody Hagan, an advantage 4 wide, as you see the 19 as well, trying to get through, and oh boy, we have ourselves a big wreck. Right behind him, LaPlante led to the caution, our first caution of the day. For once, it wasn't on the very first lap, it was on the second lap of the race. But anyway, a big wreck that started off near the start-finish line, that started off the race. Boy, whoa! Someone got a hard hit there down pit road. Pulls off of Michael Woolton. Woolton had a hard hit from Indianapolis last race you saw earlier. There you see the 7 of Frank, everybody all up in smoke, and I think that was Webster Zangarde that hit the pit road on the pit wall there. So yeah, it was Webster Zangarde. Ooh boy, that's one hell of a hit there, as Zangarde would be alright. As you see an onboard camera, unlike Walton, it did hit his driver's side, which thankfully that would have been a disaster. But anyway, Walton was safe, and so was Zangarde. They would both be alright. We have pit stops in the first laps, and Roman Ray Hall, who's also competing for the Final Four spot, is now your leader after pit stops, but eventually Mason Wood and Austin LaPlante would catch up to the 66 and have himself a battle for the lead. 4 wide battle for the lead. But in the end, it became 2 wide for Cody Hagan. Cody Hagan gets through, and so does the 97 Joshua Bolkin and the 19 Alex Hawkins. Hawkins all battling 3 wide for the lead. On the 6th lap, with just 20 laps to go in the Super Snack 500. It's one of the most elite races in Pullman Cup Series ever, and you see here Alex Hawkins, he took the lead on the bottom line, but Johnny Garner and Jordan Davis, our last winner from Indy. Davis trying to go back to back and maybe even get his 4th win of the year. A phenomenal year for the one machine in general with those 3 wins, even if he's not competing for the championship. But anyway, well, he was champion last season, but he's not competing to defend his crown. But anyway, the 20 Connor Breton now took the lead from Hawkins a couple laps later, and now the 2 Dylan Young trying to close in on the 20. And there you see Austin Mongold trying to find his way. Dylan Young trying to put a block on him, but Mongold was able to break free and take the lead from everybody else. Mongold, a former chaser, he was eliminated in the early rounds of the chase. I think it was in the Challenger round he was eliminated at. Roman Rahal trying to go for the lead, trying to lock himself into the final four. But if he keeps a good finish, he might get himself in without even getting to win. But anyway, we had our second big wreck of the race near pit road. It seems like the biggest wrecks always happen near the start-finish line at this track. And whoa, Jack Blake, a hard hit down pit road. He gets rocked like a pinball. Getting into pit road, spinning out a hard hit. He'd be alright though. And here's another wreck that happened beforehand. Luke Walker and Benjamin Miles get spun out. And there you see a couple drivers getting loose. Mason Wood is in it. And it's been a really rocky day for many drivers in the Super Snack 500. Big wrecks, crazy finishes. This track out has it all. Anyway, on the restart, Mongol took the lead. They had their second set of stops, and I guess fuel and tires will not be an issue for this race. Cody Hagan, though, takes the lead. Joshua Balkin is second, and he's going to go side by side. Trevor Gelfie is going to go down the bottom, trying to get for the lead, trying to find room to go to the bottom for a lead. And here he goes, Balkin still trying to keep his draft up, getting drafting help from Trevor Gelfie. Going side by side, and looks like Balkin took the lead, but he had, well, there you see side by side as well. Behind them, they're all getting bunched up all over the place. But there we have another caution. Oh no, it's Roman Rahal. He gets involved with Sean Harple. Two chasers involved in the wreck. I would bring out our next caution. And it was Nick Altendorf in the 15 that spun Roman Rahal. Leia Walker, though, would get involved as well. Oh, I hope that Rahal doesn't get affected by the chase after that wreck. But anyway, we had a restart. Balkin took the lead. They would stay out of pit stops, and they would be good to go to the finish. Or would they? As you see, Balkin had to come down pit road with just a few laps left in the race to give up his lead over to Kyle Singer in the 77. But wait a minute, look at this. Collins, no, it's not Singer. It's Kyle Collins, Daniel Voiles, and RJ Bishop battling for the lead. A three-wide battle. But in the end, RJ Bishop would win out that battle. As you see, Preston Clord, out of nowhere. He's now moved up to second. Second position, Daniel Voiles in the top 5 as well. Voiles and Preston Clord trying to compete for final 4 spots, hoping to get a win here in the Super Snack 500 to get to the final 4. RJ Bishop would lead, but his lead would be short-lived as he has to come down pit road along with everybody else. There you see the drivers coming down pit road. Rahal comes down too. Oh no, there's a wreck! Caution's out, the race is over just like that. And Daniel Voiles, the chaser's in the lead under the caution flag. Wow, what a finish! We had pit stops going, and then we had a big wreck near pit road. There's the wreck. Connor Breeden. Oh no, Kyle Singer got right into Connor Breeden down pit road. I don't know what he was trying to do. And he causes up a big wreck, and near the start-finish line, brings out the caution that'll end the race. Since Trevor Gelfie went for a wild ride, Ian Dutta was in it. Everybody else, Nathan Hudson, Nicholas Guerrero was in it. Oh my gosh, this was a big wreck that'll end the race. But if you thought that was freaky, get this. Daniel Voiles was the leader to the caution, but he had to come down pit road the next lap. He had to chase possibly a championship spot slip through his fingers thanks to him pitting on that caution lap, the next caution lap. If he had stayed out, he would have taken the win, and he would have got himself into the final 4. But wow, I don't know why he decided to pit there, and it'll be a costly move. But coming off the final corner, Chris Washer, of all drivers, is going to win the Super Snack 500 in a crazy finish. Daniel Voiles, it looked like he was going to win it, but he had to come down pit road late. Let's hope that it doesn't cost him a chase spot, as we're going to show you which 4 drivers will make it to the championship round. As you see, Pichu took the win by 2/1000ths of a second over Austin Talley. It doesn't show the last number, unfortunately, only the 3 numbers, but not the 4th one. Well, only the 4th one for the ones 11 seconds or 10 seconds or below, but unfortunately it doesn't show the last number, but it's 2/1000ths of a second. I showed you already how close it was. But anyway, Wow, what a race it was at Talladega. The highest finishing chaser was Roman Rahal in 5th, but Michael Walton also came in 7th, and Jasmine Acosta came in 10th. Now let's look at the rest of the field from below. The lowest finishing chaser was Nicolas Guerrera in 41st place, and only 5 drivers ended up being lower than the lead lap. Leah, Jordan Davis, Mark Riggleman, Nicolas Guerrera, and Trevor Gelfie. Not bad for Talladega, even we had 2 big wrecks of the race. Now your results from Indianapolis. The Brickyard 400, Jordan Davis started from 2nd, but he got the win and led the most laps too with 11, beating out Alex Hawkins to the caution just before the white flag came out. And Nicolas Guerrero went from the lowest finishing chaser to the highest finishing chaser. He actually finished in 5th. Believe it or not, he became the highest chaser from the Indy race. Then the only other chase to finish the top 10 was Roman Rahal in 10th place. Now here is the rest of the field. Leah Walker finished in dead last. The lowest chaser was Michael Walton in 41st. Wow, he went from the highest chaser to the lowest chaser. And Guerrero went from the lowest chaser to the highest chaser. That's incredible. That's going to really be interesting to set up the final 4 points. And finally, Walton was your pole setter in the Super Snack 500, but he didn't get a good run at all. Chris Washer took the win in the Super Snack 500 you saw earlier. It looked like Daniel Voiles was going to win the race, but he had a pit with just a few laps to go under caution. It didn't get back to green, and Chris Washer got the win. Voiles just lost his chance to advance the next round, and that pit stop in the caution laps might be costly. As you see, Coffey came 2nd, Hawkins was 3rd. The highest chaser, well, believe it or not, no chaser finished in the top 10. No current chaser finished the top 10. In fact, the highest chaser was once again Nicolas Guerrera in 13th. And here's the rest of the field. Here is the other results. George Work was last place in 42nd. And Michael Walton, like I said, he didn't have a good race. He was the lowest chaser, the lowest finishing chaser, despite winning the pole and leading a lap. He came home in 38th. That's not going to help him at all to get into the final 4. Speaking of which, we've already set up the point standings after those 3 races, and here are your 4 drivers that are going to go into the final 4 to compete for the championship. Roman Rahal, 3,088 points, led all the drivers, and he is a definite favorite to be winning the championship. This is his 2nd consecutive season he's in the final 4. He has had experience, so we'll see if Rahal can finally get the job done. Joining Rahal along with him is Sean Harpole, 3,071 points, just 17 points behind Rahal. Harpole joins along the other with Rahal to compete for the championship. He's going for his first championship in his 2nd season, same for Rahal. And Nicolas Guerrero will be your 3rd chaser, just 1 point back of Sean Harpole, but just enough points to make it into the final 4. Guerrero had a tough start at Talladega, but he rebounded in the final 2 races, and now he's in the final 4. And the last driver to advance to the championship round with the championship on the line, Jasmine Acosta, 3,059 points, a 9-point advantage over 5th place, gets her into the final 4. The sister of Ryan Acosta, let's see if Jasmine could beat his brother in terms of the championship battle. And the 4 drivers that are not going to be competing for the championship are Ian Dutta, just 9 points short of being in the 4th position, was one of the favorites heading into the Eliminator round, but struggled before and just couldn't get the finishes when he needed to. And also eliminated is Daniel Voiles. We mentioned earlier he had a pit with just a few laps to go under caution while he was the leader in the Super Snack 500, and that pit stop cost him the win and a chase spot. If he had won, he would have gone in the chase no matter where he finished after the race in the point standings, because a win locks you into the next round. But unfortunately, no chaser got to win to advance to the next round. This is the 2nd season in a row that the first 9 chase races were not won by chase drivers. And wow, it's been a tough, it goes to show you how hard the championship is earned in the Pole One Cup Series, even if you're a chaser. But Daniel Voiles, a heartbreak. He's going to really regret that. It's a really big heartbreak for Voiles. They had their chance in the Final Four at their grasp, and it slipped through them thanks to getting them on pit road. And Michael Walton was eliminated as well, 3,044. Had two bad finishes. It looked like he had a promising start at Talladega, but it just fell apart of him in the final two races. And it's just not the championship he does, well, unfortunately, not the one he wanted to get. And finally, Preston Plord was never really a factor in any of the three races. He just didn't finish well. As you see, Plord came 22nd to Super Snack 500. But he just wasn't a factor in any of the three Eliminator races. And unfortunately wasn't even close. So, and as you see the other drivers eliminated. Now, just one more thing to note before I go. The eliminated chasers, even though the 12 chasers are eliminated from championship contention, they will still be in the All-Star race as chasers. And the All-Star race will take place after the season finale. And also in the All-Star race will be these winners: Austin Talley, Dan Coffey, Luke and Leia Walker, Pete Chu, Dion Scott, Alex Hawkins, Johnny Garner, Dylan Young, and our Super Snack winner, Chris Washer. They won chase races or just had wins but didn't get in the chase for a couple reasons, or they just are non-chasers that have won chase races. Those drivers are in the All-Star race, and there'll probably be at least one more spot to transfer the All-Star race before All-Star Showdown. That goes to the non-chaser who doesn't have a win, who wins at the season finale at Zandvoorts. That last spot would only be given to the non-chaser who hasn't won before Zandvoorts, got a win in the championship race, and that's only going to apply for the non-chasers. But anyway, Rahal, Harpel, Guerrero, and Acosta will battle for the championship heading into Zandvoorts. The highest finisher of the four will be declared your Season 12 champion. Hope you guys will stick around for that, and we will see you at Zandvoorts.